Welcome back to CultureKeeper, the podcast that bridges the gap between junior sailors and senior leaders. So let's talk some truth, not theory today, okay? So this is going to be a closed-door conversation you rarely hear. What your leaders see, what they notice, what they don't always say out loud. So let's start with the first barrier. Why leaders stay silent in the first place?
This isn't just a podcast. It's a movement. Real stories, zero fluff, battle-tested wisdom, straight from the mess to the deck plates. If you're tired of silence, the politicking, and leadership cliches, you're in the right place. Welcome to CultureKeeper.
So sometimes, leaders don't talk because of ego. They think they did it all on their own, and you should too. Some don't talk because of fear. They don't want to expose what they don't know because, they're supposed to know, apparently. And some, they only know how to talk their way in their tone, in their directness, with their sarcasm or humor or whatever, right? And maybe that's not in the way that you can actually hear it. Either way, silence kills. So I once had a chief tell me when I was a junior sailor, I figured it out myself. So should you. And I remember walking away angry and also confused because I'm like, did that mean I wasn't supposed to ask questions, that I wasn't worth the time? And for weeks, I stumbled through mistakes I could have avoided if they just give me one straight answer. What I didn't realize then is that their ego, it wasn't a strength. It was insecurity. And their silence, it didn't make me tougher. It actually slowed down my growth. And that brings me to this. When the mess does speak, here's what we're watching for. Long before an eval hits our inbox for chopping. We notice consistency, right? And that consistency, it beats talent. I had two sailors who, they stand out in my memory. One was super smart, right? Brilliant even. Sharp as a tack, could troubleshoot anything. But you never knew which version of them was going to show up. On time one day, late the next, fully engaged on Monday, distracted and sloppy by Thursday. Now, the other sailor, they weren't flashy, weren't as brilliant, still pretty smart, but always there. Early, uniform squared away, and they were consistently just steady, whether there was pressure or not. Guess who you think the mess trusted? Not the talented one, the consistent one. And the next, tone beats words, right? Military bearing is the standard, right? And you snap at someone and you've already lost. No matter if you meant for it to come off that way or not. So I had a sailor, me and my sea stories, right? I heard a sailor give the right answer, but in the wrong tone. Very sarcastic, very sharp. And the chief didn't hear the words. They just heard the disrespect. And that sailor's credibility took a hit instantly. And the suggestion that they gave wasn't taken, even though it may have been the better one. And then next initiative, it beats supervision. If we have to stand over you, we're not leading, we're babysitting. Now, don't confuse that with the learning process. You are working to get qualified in something or you're newly qualified. There's training and development that happens. That's one thing. That's leadership. Then there's the space of you've been qualified for a while. You've been proficient for a while, but you choose to not do the things unless someone is standing over you. That's babysitting. So we had a piece of gear that broke. And one of my sailors, they wanted to wait for the work center suit to tell them exactly what to do. And then I had another sailor grab the MRC card, They walked through the steps. They got in contact with supply, lined up parts, all of that. Same problem, right? But two very different impressions. And then culture. Culture is not just the responsibility of your LPOs and your chiefs, your DIVOs, so on and so forth. Everyone owns a piece in that culture. And culture is built by how you carry others, not just yourself. At a third class, stop another sailor from skipping a step on maintenance. And they didn't yell or try to embarrass them, call them an idiot or anything like that. They just quietly corrected them. And that moment really did more for the divisional culture than any speech that I could have gave. And more importantly, what that did was help to make steps toward fostering a deeper relationship between those two individuals. So if we see all this so clearly, right, the real question is, why don't we always say it out loud? Whew. Well, chiefs get tired. Deployments stretch, hours extend, bodies wear down. Picture this, right? It's 2 a.m. You're on your third cup of coffee. You've been grinding it out since 0500 the day before. The deployment got extended. Port visit got canceled. Your sailors are stretched and your inbox is just filling up. You care about your people, but you're running on fumes. That's when silence sneaks in. It's not that you don't see the mistakes. You do. It's that you're too tired to correct them. And here's the danger. Your silence feels like permission. What you tolerate today will be repeated tomorrow. So if silence is so dangerous, the question becomes, what can you do right now to stand out, even if no one says a word to you? Well, first things first, own your presence. Uniform, your tone, your habits, they all speak before you do. Something I want you to reflect on. When you look in the mirror tomorrow, ask yourself, would you follow you? Now, don't rush past that question. Think about your uniform, your tone, your habits. If the answer is no, you know exactly where to start. Next, stay curious, not cynical. Now, cynicism, I believe, is laziness dressed up as wisdom. Now, curiosity, that's what makes you even more valuable. Now, if you find yourself kind of anchored in that cynicism or that negativity, something that I would love for you to take the time to reflect on is what or who burned you so badly that you now assume every leader, every person is out to get you. Now, if that's where you are, it's time to do the work, whether it's with counseling, whether it's you connecting to whatever faith it is that you believe in, or having hard conversations. Do whatever it takes to hit that reset button. Next, ask, listen, and apply. Growth, it doesn't need permission, right? Fail fast, learn even faster, and then move again, right? I'd like to believe failure, it becomes an experiment when you apply the lessons the next go round. It's only failure if you do nothing to change it. I once had a sailor ask, Chief, what does done look like here? And that one question saved the whole division from failing an assessment. They didn't wait for permission. They asked, they listened, they applied. And that's why I built the 3 questions resource for sailors who don't want to gamble with trust. And that's the point. The mess invests in sailors already showing they're investing in themselves. Now, this isn't to say that if you don't fit into that category, you're discarded. No. What I am saying is that there are those that are ready now and those who require more time. And here's an example I'll give you. So when a ship is preparing for deployment, right, there's so many steps that have to happen prior to that. And there are moves that have to be made. And for me, my source rating is OS. So when I looked at deployment and I tacked, however many months back, I knew that this is when the basic phase was going to start, basic, intermediate, and advanced. Prior to that, I know that based on the personnel that I have to make the decisions along with my team on who we're going to send to advanced schools. Schools that come to mind, you have your tactical information coordinator, your air intercept controller, your ASW, tactical air controller, right? Those are considered, C schools for OSs, and those are difficult schools, especially my air controller schools. So when I think about, okay, I'm building my watch bill, I'm building my roster, am I going to immediately go towards someone who is inconsistent, who I never know is going to show up, especially when considering them for a high failure, high stress school? Probably not. I'm going to look for the consistency. I'm going to look for the sailors that are showing me right now, as I'm building this watch bill right now, this is who I need to invest in. Something to think about. So if you think you're ready and you fall into that category, prove it. Start with the 3 questions every junior leader should ask. It's free, it's simple, and it'll keep you from getting blindsided on the deck plates. Download it using the link shown in the show notes, and then share this episode with one sailor who needs it today. And if you're ready for more, episode 4 is already live. I'm sitting down with Command Master Chief Jay Bell, a leader known for authenticity. We're talking about why you can't fake it on the deck plates and how sailors spot the real from the fake instantly. Go hit play right now after this. And if no one has told you today, let me be the first to say, thank you for all that you've done, all that you do, and all that you will do. Until next time, keep the culture. Lead on. Culture isn't just kept, it's shaped. Every sailor, every day. Keep the culture. Lead on.